Welcome to class tonight. As always, I do hope you're having a great night. Alright, as we hit our third standard TCAP preparation, we're actually going to be hitting something that we really haven't covered yet in math. We'll actually be covering it a couple weeks after TCAP. So I figured I'd spend some time preparing you a little bit for what the test will cover. So standard 3 says, in the real number system, rational numbers have a unique location on the number line in space. Now the key words there are number line. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about a number line. Now with a number line, you can have positive and negative numbers, and that's what we'll be introducing. Now hopefully, this should not be any new information. This is something you should have gone over and you've done before. This is something that should be old news. But we do need to practice it very quickly. So let's go ahead and get started then. All right, our first question here. So I see a number line at the bottom. It's pretty basic, but it works. So our first one, we're going to find each difference now. Now what I see is I see a -3, and I see a minus, and I see a 1. Now whenever you see a minus sign here, that always means you're going to go that way. You're going to go left. When you see a plus sign, that means you're going to go right. Now, I'll actually add a plus problem here a little bit. But let's start with this first one. So -3. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start, put a little dot at -3. Now I see minus, and then I see a 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go this way, 1. And look at that. I end up at -4. So -3 minus 1 equals -4. Now, with this next one, 4 minus 8. So we're going to start at 4. So I'll put my marker here. So I'm going to erase this to give myself some room. So I'll start at 4. Make my line. Now I see that my minus sign needs. I'm going to go to the left, so I'm going to go left 8 places here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right there. So I went -8, or I went that way 8 places. So my answer is -4. I ended up at -4 once again. Now, just to get some good practice with addition, let's do one real problem real quick. Let's do -2 plus 5. -2 plus 5. So we're going to erase this then. -2. So I'm going to start at -2. So I'm going to make my dot. Now I'm going to go to the right 5 places. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. I went that way plus 5 places. So my answer is going to be 3 because I ended up on 3. Pretty simple. So that's adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers. Now with multiplication and division, there's a little bit, actually there's a big change. In fact, there really isn't, the basic idea is still the same. You're still going to be multiplying and dividing like normal. Only one issue. We see positive and negative numbers in here. Now, the way I always remember it, if there are 0 negatives, that equals positive, right? That makes sense. No negatives, that's positive. If there is 1 negative, that equals negative. Okay, so 1 negative, the answer will be negative. And then finally, if I have 2 negatives, that equals a positive answer. So you see that? 0 negatives, I get a positive answer. 1 negative, I get a negative answer. 2 negatives, I get a positive answer. So with this one, I have 1 negative and 1 positive. So I'm going to be following this rule right here. So my answer will be negative. So let's do our basic multiplication. 8 times 5 is 40. But I follow my rule here. I have a -40. So -8 times 5 is -40. Now, number 16, I have a -4 and a -9. Now I'm going to follow this rule right here. Now, 4 times 9 is simply 36, but I have a positive answer, so my answer is 36. Let me write that a little closer to where I need it, right? There we go. Now, with our division, we're going to follow the exact same rule. 0, now I have 1 negative and 1 positive, so I'm going to follow this rule right here again. So, 68 divided by 4. Oh, no. Try that again. There we go. So my answer is going to be a negative 17 because my answer will be negative. So that is the basic part. So that's adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing with positive and negative numbers. Finally, let's end up with this right here. We're going to use what's called a coordinate plane to find the coordinates right here and then name the coordinates as well. So let's go and get started then. We'll start off with finding the coordinates. Now this should be more review, okay? This should not be brand new information to you. This is called a coordinate plane, and what we do is we call this axis, the horizontal axis, we call this the x-axis, and the vertical axis, we call it the y-axis. Now, when we have all these different points right here, we are going to give each of those points a name, and it's going to be named off of where it is. So this right here, the middle, we call that 0, 0. There's 0x, 0y. As we move this way on the x-axis, we go positive. As we move this way on the x-axis, we go negative. Makes sense? On the y-axis, as we go up, that's positive. As we go down, that's negative. So, let's go and start. Let me make this actually a little bit smaller. There we go. Actually, there we go. Alright, so my first one. So, let's find A, the coordinate plane of A. So I'm going to start at 0, 0, go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I moved over 3x. So I went up on the so x-axis I went 3, and on the y-axis I went up 3 as well. So my coordinate for that one is going to be 3, 3. Now for B, I'm going to put it over here. For B, I'm going to go down. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So I have negative. Oh, sorry. I have 1, 2, 3 on the x-axis. So it's going to be 3, and then down 3 as well. So for B, I have 3, negative 3. Comma. There we go. Now for C, oh wow, I'm actually going to go negative on the x-axis and negative on the y-axis as well. So 1, 2, 3, and then down 1. So it's negative 3, negative 1 is C. And then finally D, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, so negative 3. But I go positive 1, 2, 3 for D. So my answer for that one is negative 3, 3. Okay? So, last thing, naming points with the given coordinates. Now right here I see my coordinates. I see negative 3, negative 2. So what I'm going to do is we'll start at 0, go negative 2 on the x-axis first, so 1, 2, and then I'm going to go down 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at that. So the answer for the first one is E. And this next one, 1 dash 1, so I'm going to start at 1. Go over 1, and go up 1, and I see F. So the answer for that one is F. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is the lesson. Now, I know this is new, that's why it is incredibly important that you take good notes, and that, more importantly, you turn these notes in tomorrow when you get to class. Once again, you need these notes. These are your proof that you watched the video. Alright, have a wonderful night. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I'll see you all tomorrow. All right, thank you very much.